Hello, year 7 and 8. I hope you're safe and well and keeping busy. Um, it occurred to me in terms of your next task, you are going to both have the same task because it occurred to me that I'm giving you tasks to do, but you haven't got your sketchbooks with you. So what we're going to do is this task so this week's work is going to be making your own sketchbook, but it's making one with what you can find around the house. Obviously ask whoever you live with before you take anything to use, but you can use a lot of recycled materials. So in front of me I have literally gone rummaging around the house, and you might be thinking, oh, but you're an art teacher, you're going to have lots of things like this. Not entirely true. I literally went through the garage to the point where I've even got old envelopes in front of me. So I've got I've got different coloured papers which I found, which I appreciate you might not have, but if you've got some paints you could like paint up some papers or just use white paper even. I've got a pile of white paper here. I've got different size bits of black paper and card that I had in the drawers. I've even I've gone into an old notebook and taken out lined paper and graph paper, so I've literally pulled that out of old notebooks. And I've cut off the frayed edges, and then I've just hole punched, ready for sorting out what we're going to do in a minute. I've got old music paper. Don't know why I had old music paper, but I have. And I've got like little bits of patterned paper which I just found in the drawer. I've got envelopes, more envelopes. I've got like a lunch bag, like a paper lunch bag. Got one of those just randomly in the kitchen cupboard. And I don't know about you and your family, but I tend to keep, if somebody gives a gift, I tend to keep the bags. So I've got a few bags there. So there's lots of different things here to show you really that you can use whatever you can find, provided you have permission. The bits here that I've got are like grey board, but actually it's from the inside of some envelopes that I had. So I had some packages and I took out the card from the inside, and I thought actually that would be quite useful for the front and the back of the sketchbook because it's slightly thicker than the rest. You don't have to have those, but I just happen to have them. But so if you have something delivered, see what the back of the envelope's like, because you could use it. So I've already hole punched a lot of this. I've got a hole punch. There are a lot of you that will have one in your homes, but there are some of you that might not. So you're going to have to find a way to actually make a hole in your papers, and it might be that you use the end of a sharp pencil and push that through. That's fine. There's a way around all these things. Okay, so you might be thinking, well, what on earth are you going to be doing with like music paper and pattern paper and things like that? Well, it's really nice to draw on regardless of what the background's like. So I'm going to put this together in front of you, but then I'll show you what I mean in terms of how you can kind of put work in it. Okay, so I've just mentioned that I've got the inside of envelopes, so I haven't hole punched that one actually, so let's do that quickly. Pitch this off my son because I didn't have one. That's what I mean. So I didn't necessarily have one, so I asked. So there we go. Got that down the middle there. So that can be my front page. I can decorate that afterwards, okay, to make it look, a bit more exciting. And then I can just put these in whatever order I want, really. Kind of mix it up a bit. So that's going to be my front. Let's have to think about what it is that I want inside. Because you don't have to keep these all in the piles as they are, you can mix them up a bit. So it might be, for example, look, I happen to have black paper, and I folded it over. You will notice that all these are different sizes, but actually I quite like that. It's really nice to have a sketchbook that's all different inside. So I folded that over and then I've hole punched that, and then I can start placing things. In fact, I've got another one there, because I have a different section. I've got a few nice coloured bits of card there. Again, I've already hole punched these, just so you're not literally spending the next half hour watching me use a hole punch. So they can go in there, I'm matching up the holes. And it might be and I did to, once you've got your piles as to how you want them, then place them, and then we'll sort out the ribbon or attaching it all together. So that might be one, for example, that's one section, so I'm just going to put that there. It might be that my next section is the rest of the colour paper that I've got. I'm actually going to put that, so just stop for a minute, sorry. So I'm going to put that section there, excuse me, a bit of hay fever. Got some white paper here, so I'm going to put that there. Actually, let's mix things up a little bit in terms of the size, because at the moment that's all pretty much the same size. It might be quite nice, for example, I've got like a really nice pattern paper there. That might be quite nice sitting on top of those. Look at that, it's really lovely. So those colours on there. This one, for example, that's quite nice as well, but that could, in fact, that's really nice on there. So you can kind of see how things are changing up. The notebook paper, let's have a look. That might be quite nice sitting on top of the white paper, just so we've got like a white section. And I've got these random bits of card, which I think they were really random. I just found them in a folder. Really odd sizes, not a particular size at all, but I thought actually they're probably quite good. So I might stick that on top of there. And then I thought these ones, rather than going the portrait way, could have them landscape. So for example, I could have those ones matching up a hole there. I've got another set of white paper here, and it might be that I have my random music paper sitting on top of there. I've got even more here, more white paper, so I might as well just put that with there. The music paper there, so you can see the holes. I happen to have brown paper here, just like parcel paper. I tend to use it for wrapping presents, so I've just got some randomly. But actually this is quite good for putting in sections. So that white section, for example, might put that there. Got another one, just because I have. I've got little bits of white card here. Let's take those away. But I've got little bits of white card, different sizes. But I've also got black there. I love black card with parcel paper together. It's really nice. But that could go inside there. So you can see what I'm doing here. I've got like literally sections. Now these tiny little bits of like tags, and I've got like literally tags and little bits of card. We'll keep those for in a minute. I've got the front. I've got another one for the back. Like I say, don't worry if you haven't got thick card. I just happen to have it just because we had some post yesterday. Put some hole punch in that, so that's my back and my front. And I've got, like I say, I've got envelopes. I'm going to keep those for a minute. I've got bags here. Don't know if I'm going to use them. We'll see. These are quite good in a sketchbook because you can actually obviously put things in them if you use them upright. So what I'm thinking is, what's quite handy if you haven't got a string. I mean, I'm lucky, I've got a little ball of string. Don't know why, but I have got a little ball of string. But you could, if you've got old gift bags, use the ribbons from it. So I could cut those off, which actually I think I will. I really like this bag. Love, you all know me, I love blue. So I actually want this in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just open up the side there. I'm going to hole punch it. It's going to be longer than the actual sketchbook, but I'm really not bothered about that. I just think it's quite cool to have in there. So actually, I'm trying to think, if I was to have that there, you can see I'm not being dead precise. And I don't actually know if I've just got this measurement right. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to have that there, because I actually think that's going to be really nice in there with all that blue paper I can see. Slightly out, but I'm not bothered about that. So that could sit there. I actually really like this one as well. So actually that could go there. You see what I'm doing? I'm just placing things for the moment, and I can change my mind in a minute if I want to. Not bothered about that. I can go there. Just going to put that one there. Move all those pens. That can go there. This one could even sit on the front of my sketchbook. I don't know, we'll decide. I don't even have to use it. I've even got like an old envelope here, which again, like I say, we've had some post. You could use that. You could cut that down, make it neater. You could use that as drawing paper. Absolutely fine. But now I'm thinking, right, do you know what? I've got a lot of things going on here. So I'm going to cut the ribbon out and we'll see how easy this is to do. I'm actually going to cut that out. Out of there. I'm going to cut that out of there. Oops. And that can go back over there. So now I've got the actual ribbon to use, which is quite handy. I'm saying it's quite handy. We'll see how easy it is to use. So I now need to decide what order I want it to go in. So, like I say, I need my bottom, the bottom there, okay? And then I'm going to decide, you know, kind of what order. So it would probably be quite nice if I ended with one of these sections with the bag. So that could just sit on top of there. Then I'm thinking, let's break up the colours a little bit. Might be quite nice to have a white section. Maybe in there. Now I've just noticed I'm going to have a problem. It's quite good I'm doing this in front of you, so you can learn by my mistakes. This here, I haven't got the hole punches in the top bit, so I'm going to actually put the hole punch on the top as well. Put a little mark so I can see what's going on, where I'm actually doing it, where I need it. I'm just going to empty that for a moment so I can see what's going on. Oops, fiddly. Open that up there. I'm going to match up. There. So now that's going to work. So that would now go on there. Now it'll work. So that can go on there. I'm going to have the same problem with this one, so I'm going to put another hole punch in there. I'm going to mark where I want my hole punch because I've not done it all the way through. Oops. Move that out there a little bit. That can go there, and this one. And we can start with a nice pretty colour page, and then that's when we'll have the front, and then we'll decide what we do with these afterwards, but that could quite nicely be the front page, we'll see. So this is going to be quite difficult. I'm going to use both of these because I'll use one for the top set of holes and one for the bottom set of holes. What I would say is it's going to be quite hard to get it through all of this. So what I'm going to do for the moment is you can use sellotape. I just happen to have some masking tape here. I'm just going to take a little bit of that, and I'm just going to make it into a point. We can get rid of this at the end. And this is purely to get through the hole. You'll see in a minute what I mean. I'm hoping this is going to work because I've not tried it. Okay, so now I'm going to go through. Ooh, look at that, it did work. So I'm going to go through all of these holes. I've got to have my blue paper in there. You know what I'm like, need to have some blue. Now this one might be a little bit fiddly because we need to match up what's going on in there. Right, We might have to do this all separately. In fact, I think we are. I'll be incredibly lucky if this happens all in one. So, with fingers and thumbs, this is what you'll be like. So it's going to have to go through, let's have a think. So that's going to go there. I'll go through that one. These are the sorts of things you're going to have to think about how it's working if you do it the same way. We'll soon find out if I've done it right in a minute. I could be incredibly wrong. Let's see if that's worked. Ah, genius. Then I've got to this one. There. Oh no, I've got to do it all again. Right, okay, let's try it again. Let's see if I can get it right again. So it's going to have to go through there. Then through here. These ones. Through that. Brilliant. Random music paper. White paper. Ooh, that white card's got silver on the back, I didn't realise that. That's nice. It's just about going through, so I don't have to do it separately. That's good. And then on the back. And actually, that little bit of tape on the end of the ribbon has worked brilliantly. Right, so I've got that all attached up there. I'm literally just going to put that like that for the moment, just hide it once, just for a moment. It's just while I get the bottom part done. Quite liking the look of this. I'll tell you what, I'm going to use it. I'm actually going to be sketching in mine. Might do all my examples in it for you. I'm going to do the same with this bit of ribbon that I did with the other one, because that worked really well. Unless it was just a fluke with that one, but let's see what happens with this one. Okay, let's give that a go. So, might be a bit too long. Right. Okay, so let's go through that. Let's go through the whole process again. This is the one where I do it separately, so there. Yeah, it's like sewing. Very patient, year 7 and 8. Soon be done and you'll see what this is looking like and you'll get the gist. good about the gift bags is you can use them as almost like little pockets to put things in. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Brilliant. So I'm going to make sure I'm putting that all kind of like, I want it there. I'm going to tighten that. And I'm actually going to put, you could put a bow in yours, but I'm going to put a knot because I don't want it all falling apart. And there. I remember I didn't go looking for these ribbons. I haven't got any ribbon at home. It's just on old gift bags. Literally just cut those off. Now, let's make these all nice on the edge. You know, like you can. I'm cutting them diagonally. It's like wrapping a present. It's a bit long, so let's cut some of that off. Ooh, look at that. Oh my gosh, how gorgeous. I'll sort the front cover out in a minute with you. But look, I've just made myself a lovely sketchbook where I've got all these pages that I can do work on. I'm well excited by that. So every time I do demonstrations for you guys now, in terms of drawing and painting or whatever it is that I do, I'm going to do it in here. Okay, so I've still got bits and pieces left over here. It's not to say you have to use them, but actually the bits I've got left I do really like. So the front cover is a bit dull at the minute. I could, if I wanted to, put that on as the front cover. And actually, because it's a gift bag, if I attach that to the front, I could even put pens in there so that I'm ready whenever I come to use my sketchbook, so I could put pens in there. So what I'm going to do actually is glue that on. This is just a cheap Pritt stick. I'm going to glue that on. So there. So what I've got now is that's my kind of like front cover, but it's now been glued on there, but I can use that to put in little notes I might need, or quite simply, you know, put a pen in there, so that can be in there ready the next time to use. I'll take it out for a moment, I'm going to use that. But there's my lovely little sketchbook, and I can use, like I've got envelopes here which I could use, so I could, if I wanted to, go in there and think, right, okay, where do I want some other things? It might be that I want an envelope there, for example, because I want to be able to put little notes or trinkets in there. So, in fact, let's do that. It might be like a to-do list. You could, in theory, be keeping yourself organised and doing like a timetable and to-do list. You could use a sketchbook for that, couldn't you? So go to Google Classroom and you could write down all your work in here and all your deadlines, as well as doing all your artwork. So look, in fact, let's write on it. Okay, so you can see that I hold that up. If I open my page, so that's my front cover. So every day I could be looking in there and thinking, right, what have I got to do? Let's do myself a list. Put it in there. Okay, so that could be going in there. It might be that I open up some of these pages and I found these tags. Tags like, you know, for presents and things. I'm not saying you're going to have them, but I have got some, so I might as well use them. And I think what I'm going to do, attach them on here. I think they're really lovely. You could even be taking, you can see there's a tag on my actual gift bag there. So I can, in fact I want to take that off in a minute, I'm going to use it. This could be like a, you know, I could put contents pages and things like that, couldn't I? I wonder, I might just have 5 on there. Didn't even count how many I had, found a handful. Oops, straighten that up a bit. That's really cool, really like that. So, that's there. I'm going to take that off very carefully. Where's my scissors gone? Cut that off. In fact, do I really need that ribbon on there? No, I don't. So if we take that ribbon, I thought about it, I could have had peach ribbon on my, holding it all together, couldn't I? Let's get that one out as well, otherwise it will look a bit silly with one. Oops, let's get that one out of there. All to get that tag. Right, so I could use the page, we've got lots of tags on there now, haven't we, with those ones, so let's find another section where they could go. See, it might be nice there. In fact, I do like it there. Let's see, I can't remember what we've got further down the line. Let's have a look. That's got loads going on, but actually, do you know what? Ooh, I think it's quite nice on black. I quite like it there. You see what I'm doing? I'm making decisions. I'm going through my sketchbook, making decisions about where I can place things. Because now I'm designing it. So you can see what I'm doing. Oops. Making a sketchbook. In fact, my back page there, I could even have something like that on the back as well. In fact, let's do it. So I could have a pocket on the back as well. And like I say, this is not a case of me sitting here having all this stuff always sitting at home. It's because I've gone rummaging, and it's all, I mean, that's like that is literally a lunch bag. It's like a lunch paper bag. So I can have a little pocket on the back as well. Cute. So let's have, in fact I've got another one of those tags. I'm going to put that on there. If you haven't got any tags and you like these tags, you can always cut out the shapes. I do this quite, you've seen me do this actually in classes, where I've cut out tags. Don't have to buy them. I'm going to stick that there, and I'm going to put on there Mrs. Taylor art. Let's have a little heart, because we love art. So, there we go. Look at that. Gorgeous. Got my sketchbook. Mrs. Taylor art. Got a pocket. Let's find some pens. Pen, pencils, rubber. In there go. Let's pinch my son's felt tips. I will give them back. But look, I can put all these things in here. And there it is, ready for me to use. So, you're making a sketchbook. Dead simple, with what you can find. Then, year 7, what I'd like you to do, let's take those out a minute. What I'd like you to do is to then do yourself a title page. But then what I would like you to do is your Zentangle insects, which I've asked you to do in terms of symmetry. That was your last task. You could, whatever you've done that on, and you've all done it on paper, you could then stick that in your sketchbook. Okay? Year 8, your next tasks, they're going to be in your sketchbook. Year 7, all your other tasks, they're going to be in this sketchbook. Okay? So, pretty cool task, I think, because you're going to be using it. And actually, I'm going to be using this. Well excited by that. Turned out much nicer than I thought. So, enjoy. I'll put a deadline on Google Classroom, okay? But basically, this is your task. Dead lovely to use for next time, okay? Enjoy. Keep safe.